Hello, I am Chris Cooper, and this is video game design class and advanced video game design. A little bit about me. My family and I live in Keller. My wife, Jackie, she's also a teacher. She teaches third grade at Walnut Grove Elementary School in Southlake, Carroll. We have two boys, Cole and Caleb, and the picture there is from it's from last summer, so it's a little bit old. But my oldest son, Cole, is a fifth grader, and my youngest son, Caleb, just turned 3 this summer. This will be my 17th year as a teacher and my 9th year here at Colleyville Heritage High School. Before that, I taught in Keller ISD for 8 years. So all of the 8 years going on 9 that I have taught here, I have taught video game design. And I have students in most of my classes from Grapevine High School and Colleyville Heritage High School. So most of them are split between the two high schools. And I graduated from the University of North Texas in 2004. Just for a quick overview of the course, in video game design, students are going to be using Unreal Engine to design their games. And a lot of them have heard of that. It's used to design a lot of major games that they have even played, that they spend some time playing. So it is a game design software that if they were to go on past high school and maybe go to a university and study game design, they're likely to be using Unreal Engine. There's one other big one called Unity that is also a possibility. But by using Unreal Engine, they're gaining a real world experience that they can use if they should decide to pursue game design post high school. Unreal Engine, also the nice thing about it is that it uses what's called blueprints, which is visual programming. So it's drag and drop programming. It also uses C++, of course, for the more sophisticated games. But you can use blueprints to do all the building block things, all the main things, a lot of what you can do with C++. It's just not as much fine tuning, but that keeps it kind of accessible for all of the people that are new to game design that don't have any kind of programming or coding experience. So that's why we use that. The vast majority of our class time is for students to actually build their games. That's the way this course is built. And I also gear it so that everything can be completed during class time. So all of our projects should be able to be done during class time. We do have some coursework type assignments that aren't necessarily project based, and those can be done outside of school. But most of what we do has to be done here in the lab. So that's why I designed the course that way, so that the students can do everything they need to do within the time that they're here at school. Grading expectations, there's the phrase watch your ones. If you see a 1 in Skyward, that means that assignment can still be turned in. If it's a 0, that means that's a 0 and it can't be changed, and then an NC means the grade's not counting. So for all of my assignments, you're going to see 1s if something's not been turned in, or maybe it just wasn't done correctly. They can pretty much always still turn it in for full credit. We're using Canvas, and I'll talk a little bit more about Canvas, but one key thing to remember is that the grades you see in Canvas isn't necessarily been updated yet. So what you see in Skyward is the official grade. I sync to Skyward, the grades in Canvas to Skyward every morning, just about every morning, and grade things at that time. So if you're seeing something that looks funny in Canvas, check Skyward. If it's not synced to Skyward yet, that means I haven't finished grading it yet. Here's a key bullet point for my class, because this is an elective. I try to make it as manageable for students as possible. So I do accept late work for full credit all the way up until the end of the grading period. So if the student is failing, really all they need to do for my course is turn in the work that they're missing, because they're most likely failing just because they have missing work. And then if there's an assignment that's lower than what they're happy with, they can always redo every assignment to bring it up to a 100. So I give lots of opportunities to get work turned in, and have, especially with projects, I want the students to do the work so that they're getting the experience of actually designing a game and learning from it, and not just getting discouraged because they're so far behind and not actually doing the work. Okay, some big classroom expectations for this year. We've been talking a lot about student IDs. Students can't enter the classroom without their ID. They have to have one on, otherwise they go to the office and they have to get another one. And if they're unable to get another one, they can't come to class. So that's a big deal this year. Tardies, we're recording tardies now. The new policy here is now that if they have 5 tardies within a week, they get lunch detention the following week. Cell phones, new expectation this year is that they are out of sight. Students can't have them out during class at any time, and that's in all classes. The only time they can have cell phones out are during the passing periods, lunch, and before and after school. And then I put on note in here about headphones. We use headphones in class almost every day, so they're essential for this class. I do have headphones in class that they can use, and we have just about enough for everybody. But I don't know how much longer the headphones are they're going to make it. I don't know if we'll have all of them lasting through the year, so it's always helpful if students bring their own headphones or earbuds to use. Okay, so with Canvas, that is the procedure, and all students should know this by now. The first thing they do when they come into class is log on to Canvas, go to the video game design course in Canvas, and right on my homepage is a button to see the agenda. And so that agenda is updated every day. So when a student goes on there and looks at the agenda, they see what we're doing that day, and then below that they can scroll down and see what we've done previous days, which is really helpful for any students that are absent. And I'll show that here in just a minute. We also have coursework organized into modules in Canvas. And let's actually go ahead and jump over into Canvas here to take a look. So I'm in the student view, so this is what a student would see on their dashboard. Well, they can just go directly to the course. So this is the homepage for video game design. And as I mentioned before, they'll click right here where it says click here for today's agenda, and that shows what we're doing each day in class. So on September 6th, 7th, that's the A day and the B day. I have video game design on both of those days, so they'll just, whether they're on A day or B day, this is their assignment for that day. And there's usually links directly to the assignment, so that way they can go straight from here to complete the assignment. So this is really helpful. It shows what we've done. And then there's also modules, as I mentioned. All of what we'll do throughout the year are organized into modules. So you can see right here at the top, we're currently working through the house project. So everything for the house project is in this module. So the modules expand just like this. And we're going to work through this in this order. And then things will be added to the module. They'll get published so students can see them as we progress. And then, so in general, we have project modules and learning modules. The learning modules basically are the content of the textbook. It's the academic kind of material that they are expected to learn throughout the course of the year. So these are broken down into learning activities, which are basically the textbook, what they're reading through, a glossary of terms. And then we have assessment activities that we do in each one to review what they read and learned up here. And then a handful of video assignments that go along with the topic. So you can see we'll finish this one on September 13th. There might be some others that are coming up here that are not published that they can't see yet. But this is Learning Module 1, and then we'll have some other, what we did, the non-digital game design already. We'll have other learning modules and other project modules that pop up as they get published as we go on throughout the year. But modules is another key thing to know. The syllabus is here. I'm not going to go through all this in detail. I went over all this with students on the first day. But this is here to look at. You can also find this information on my webpage. Grades is a helpful place to go to. This is just a test student, so these aren't real grades. But you can see what it would look like. You can see all the assignments they've had, when the assignment was due, what their score was out of a possible total. And then it'll tell you if those assignments are missing or not. So again, this is just a test student. This is not a real student. And it shows some assignments that are not due yet, but usually you'll just see the ones that have that are either currently due or are past due. So that's a really handy place to go and look if you're wanting to just be able to scan quickly and see if all assignments have been turned in or if there's anything missing or any low grades. Okay, let me get back to our presentation here. So that was the last point. Look at the grades link to see any assignments that you have and what scores you received. Conference period is 4th period and 8th period. Email is chris.cooper@gcisd.net, and email is the best way to contact me. I do have before school time where the lab will be open on Wednesdays and or Fridays. So if students need to come in and work on assignments or just need help from me on something, they do need to let me know ahead of time, because my normal arrival time is about 8:15 on on a normal weekday. So on Wednesdays or Fridays, if a student needs to come in early, I need to know ahead of time so that I can make arrangements to get my kids to school at an earlier time and be here and available. So always make sure you call me or email me and let me know. All right, there's a last little blurb that I'll just leave up here for a minute for anybody to look at as far as joining the PTSA. And that's all I have time for tonight. If you have any questions, email again is the best way, chris.cooper@gcisd.net. And thank you for coming tonight.